Hi guys, and welcome back to another one of my travel vlogs. I know by now you guys have seen the title of this vlog already, but tomorrow morning we are going to be going to New York City, which is so exciting. I have been wanting to go for several years, and I finally convinced my dad, of all people, to go with me. So tomorrow we are going to New York City for 4 days. The main reason for this short little trip that we're taking is the fact that Tom Felton and Daniel Radcliffe are both going to be on Broadway for a couple weeks at the same time. They have different shows going. So Tom Felton is playing the role of Draco Malfoy in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child on Broadway, which is like super cool, like to be able to see one of the original actors play his role again. I just thought that would be super cool to see. And then also Daniel Radcliffe is doing his own like one-man show, and I love Daniel Radcliffe, so I just thought it would be a super cool once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be able to see those two actors at the same time on Broadway. So I convinced my dad to go, and that's what we're doing. Also, another reason I'm taking this trip is the fact that at the beginning of the month of April, we were supposed to take a 2-week trip to Japan, and unfortunately we had to cancel it because my grandma started having health problems. But we were all really excited to take this trip, and now it was canceled, and so I was looking forward to like going on a little vacation, and so I was like, well, might as well take this opportunity and go somewhere else. So that's what my dad and I are doing. I tried to ask my mom and my brother to come, but they did not want to, so it's just us this time, but it will be lots of fun. We're gonna have a jam-packed 4 days because I want to see as many sites as possible and eat all the good food. So I have a strict itinerary. I am a planner, and so I have it all planned out, and I just hope everything works out. I know we're gonna get a lot of steps in, and hopefully we can get it all done. But yeah, it is currently 5:12. We have to wake up at 3 in the morning tomorrow because we have to drive 2.5 hours to Dallas, and then our flight leaves at 8 a.m. Which I'm kind of regretting booking an early flight, but we wanted to get to New York as soon as possible so we could start doing things. So I'm gonna finish packing. I have my suitcase here. I literally just finished picking out my outfits. I like pack ahead of time and have all my outfits planned out, but I'm kind of like, I don't know, this trip snuck up on me, I guess, so I'm kind of doing things last minute. But I'm gonna finish packing real quick. We're gonna eat some dinner, and I'm going to try, hopefully, to go to bed early tonight, because we're gonna have a super duper long day tomorrow. But I just wanted to do a little overview of the trip and everything for you guys really quick, because it's gonna be really busy tomorrow. We're gonna hit the ground running, but I will see you guys in the morning bright and early at 3 a.m.
Hey guys, so this is my first time ever doing a voiceover on a YouTube vlog, so please bear with me here. But as you guys can tell, we woke up super early, headed to Dallas, and we boarded our flight, and before you know it, we were flying into New York City. Look at that awesome view of Manhattan. It was just so cool to see from up above. Then we touched down at LaGuardia Airport and got off the plane and started to head into the city. We got dropped off at our hotel and checked into our room, which I have a whole story about that later. But after that, we headed to Times Square. And of course, we were very hungry after that long plane ride. So the first thing we did was go to Junior's to get some lunch. And this was recommended to us by some friends, and it was very yummy. After lunch, we had some free time, so we continued to explore Times Square, and we saw this K-pop cover group, which was really cool. We went to the Hershey's and the M&M store. We saw Radio City Music Hall, the Rockefeller Center. St. Patrick's Cathedral, and it was just all so amazing, and it was so cool to get to see things that we've always seen in movies and TV shows in real life. We also decided to go to the top of the rock, and these views were so amazing. I'm so glad we chose to do that. After that, we headed to the Marquis Theater for our first Broadway show of this trip. My family and I love Stranger Things, and we saw the first season on its release date, so this was so cool to experience. Hi guys, so it is currently 10:30 and I wanted to do a little recap of the day because I feel like I didn't really talk much throughout the day. I just kind of showed what we were doing. I'm kind of bad about talking when I'm with other people. When I'm on my own and do vlogs, I just like pull out the camera and talk to it because I'm by myself. But yeah, so recap, a very long and eventful day today. We had a good first lunch at Junior's, and then I didn't really explain this when we were checking in, but we went to check into our hotel and they did not have our reservation details because I booked through my credit card and they never sent our details to the hotel. So that was very scary, but we did get an upgraded room because of all of that, so that's a good thing we got out of it. They put us up on a higher floor, and I think we got a bigger room, which is really cool. We're on the 30th floor. We have a really good hotel view of Times Square and a pretty big hotel room. So very scary at first, but it turned out all right. And then we just walked around a lot, explored Times Square. We actually got to see a lot more than I thought we would. And then we saw Stranger Things on Broadway, it was so insane. The special effects in it were just next level, and it was really cool to see like a story about their parents and like Henry Creel's time period growing up and stuff. So that was lots of fun. The special effects, I just cannot explain how great it was. I was just like wowed. There were specific scenes where Henry Creel did the thing kind of like what Eleven does in the show, and she's like pulled out of her body and put into like the room with other people, but like they can't see her or whatever, like when she blindfolds herself and does all that or whatever. He was able to do that, but those scenes were just crazy. Like the actor literally duplicated, and like you could not even tell when it happened. It just was like magic. I am ending the day today with 14,000 steps, which is a lot considering we were on a plane for 3 hours. But we are very tired and we have to wake up early in the morning, so we're gonna go ahead and get ready for bed, and I will see you guys in the morning. Okay guys, the voiceover is back because I realized I did not record myself talking or explaining what I was doing like at all throughout the day. But anyways, we woke up this morning and headed straight to Brooklyn so we could get there early to get a picture with the Manhattan Bridge in the background. Then we made a pit stop by Pebble Beach and started walking across the Brooklyn Bridge. It was very cloudy this morning, but the views were still really amazing. After that, we stopped for breakfast at Liberty Bagels, and I got an everything bagel with some avocado cream cheese, and it turned out so yummy. As we were leaving the bagel shop, we saw the Wall Street Bowl, which was cool, and then after that we went to Trinity Church, which I was so excited for because this is where Alexander Hamilton is buried, and I am a huge fan of the Hamilton musical, and you're gonna see lots of other places throughout this trip that I went to just because of Hamilton. So yeah, that was cool to see that. We did not get to go in the church, unfortunately. Then after that we saw Federal Hall and the New York Stock Exchange, and this next place unfortunately is not there anymore, as you can tell, but this is supposed to be the room where it happens from the Hamilton musical. That's where they had the famous meeting, and that's also where Thomas Jefferson's New York City residence used to be. And they used to have a little marker there that showed you where it was, but it was not there anymore, so that was very sad. After that, we headed to Francis Tavern. I really hope I said that correctly, but this place is very historical. I will tell you guys about that in a minute. But this is the lunch that we had, and my dad got some sweet potato fries, and he let me try one, and they were the best sweet potato fries that I've ever had. So what's really cool about this place is not only is it a restaurant, but it was a museum as well, because George Washington used to frequent this tavern very often, and this is where he gave his farewell address to his officers. So that was really cool to get to be in the same room that George Washington was in.
That was so cool. You know, you always hear about stuff in history, and to get to see it in person is just so different.
Be where George Washington was. I mean,
was.
Read it in books, you don't really think that it's actual.
It's real life.
Yeah, it's almost just like a fiction, you know?
Yeah. That was a really cool place, though.
Yeah.
And they had really good sweet potato fries. The best sweet potato fries I think I've ever had.
So next up, we booked a ferry ride that went around the Statue of Liberty, and we were both really excited for this, and it actually was one of my favorite things we did on the trip. We had a tour guide that would tell us information throughout the ride, and then they started playing some really good music, so I will let you guys have a listen. So after our very fun ferry ride, we walked down to the 9/11 Memorial and Museum, and there's honestly no words to describe the feeling that you get when you're in the presence of these memorials. And this is not an event that I personally lived through, but even just being there, I could feel the weight of it all, and I just could not imagine being there the day that this happened. After seeing the museum, we went to Los Tacos number 1 for dinner, and this place was nothing like I've ever experienced before. It was super packed, and we waited in a very long line, but it was so yummy. And after that, for our final stop of the day, we headed to see Every Brilliant Thing on Broadway starring Daniel Radcliffe. This show is so unique because it relies heavily on audience interaction, so Daniel actually came out before the show and handed people different cards of lines that they would say throughout. So that was so special just to see him running around throughout the theater, and he truly has so much energy and seems like such a good person. After ending the night with such an amazing show, we woke up the next morning and went to this cafe called Bluestone Cafe, and then we headed to Central Park. We took our time just walking around and enjoying the scenery. We saw this Hamilton statue, which was not planned, fun fact, but it's funny we came across it. Then we came across this, which is in the Home Alone movie. You may recognize it. We saw several filming locations all throughout Central Park, which was super cool as well. The weather was very nice, so it was a very much needed escape from the city. And then after that, we went to Grand Central Terminal, which was super cool. I loved Madagascar growing up, so that was cool to see that. We stopped by the public library, and we walked through Bryant Park as well, and I did not take any videos, but after that we stopped by Joe's Pizza for lunch, which was very, very good. Then we decided to get on one of the hop-on, hop-off little bus tours and ride it around. I, of course, had to stop by the Harry Potter store while I was in New York because I've been a Harry Potter fan for forever, so this was just such a cool place to go, and I bought lots of souvenirs, more than I probably should have. And then, of course, I got some butterbeer, which was very yummy. It does not compare to Universal, but still pretty good. Then we hopped back on our bus, and fun fact that we were told, that very top floor of that building right there is owned by Hugh Jackman. So, fun fact for you. Then we headed to our very last Broadway show of this trip, to see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. And like I said before, Tom Felton is playing the role of Draco Malfoy once again, so I was extremely excited for that, and this whole theater was just super cool. Hey guys, so it is currently 10:40 p.m. We just got out of seeing Harry Potter and the Cursed Child on Broadway. I took a shower and now I'm going to do a little recap. So first off, I just wanted to say, wow, such an amazing show. Again, I am just mind blown by the special effects that are happening on Broadway and like the transition between scenes, and I did not realize how like complex and just how amazing everything is. So I was mind blown yet again. It was so cool getting to see Tom Felton play Draco Malfoy. So that was great. When he first came on, the audience cheered for like 2 whole minutes, not even kidding. And he said his iconic line, scared Potter. So that was hilarious. Afterwards, I had really wanted to try to do stage door and get a picture or an autograph, but by the time we got out, there was like 2 or 3 lines. It was already super packed, and I could tell my dad didn't want to hang around. He was ready to go back to the hotel. And yeah, we saw Central Park this morning, which was lots of fun. And we did the hop on, hop off bus, which was cool to like ride around and see everything. But all in all, super cool day.
Last day.